Hey Stephanie. So now I'm going to go over the 4-inch ball, 2-inch ball, and hacky sack for a self trigger point release. So this being our pelvis, we take a look from the bottom. We have our hip bones, we have our lumbar spine, we have our sacrum, and then here's our sits bones right here. There are a lot of muscular attachments that come into the sits bones, to the tailbone, and if we look to the front of the pelvis, all along in through the ramus, we have some integral connections of the pelvic floor muscles. So sometimes people will even have pain just along the transverse perineal area as well. And the balls work great for helping to relieve any pain or pressure in through those areas. So the idea is when we are sitting on the ball, the intention is to let the ball sink through the muscles to try to get to the bone, and you can either do it just sitting on it or rolling on it. We start off with the 4-inch ball because it's just a wider surface area, so it's not going to be as painful. And then when we get down to the 2-inch ball, then it's a smaller surface area, therefore more force and a little bit more of a stronger stretch. And then finally progressing to the hacky sack. So let me just demonstrate to you what that would look like. So what I would have my patients do is actually go ahead and sit on the ball, okay? And there's lots of different ways depending on what the patient is able to do. So you can either have like one leg tucked underneath you, and I'm treating the right side right now, and just rolling yourself back and forth on the ball until you find a tight spot, and then just kind of hanging out in that spot. So right now I'm allowing my muscles to melt over the ball, allowing the ball to kind of come straight through to touch the bone is my intention, meaning that the muscles are relaxing. So that's one way that you can do it for getting right onto the sits bones where the hamstrings would attach. And then if it's more of the transverse perineal area, just underneath the vaginal opening, you can just position the ball so that you are right on that area. And once again, you're just allowing your muscles to melt over the ball to allow for relaxation. And you can do great relaxation breathing here. So I tell my patients to, inhale, to prepare, and as they're inhaling, what they're doing is they're filling their belly and allowing the pelvic floor to drop, exhaling, thinking about just letting the pain leave the body, okay? So that's one way that you can use the ball. And then you can, once you are good at that and you feel like, oh, I really don't have much pain with that one anymore, then you can go down to the 2-inch ball. Same thing, you're kind of putting it on the area that creates pain for you. And you can roll back and forth on the ball. Some people might need to have one leg behind them so they can get up and over the ball a little bit more. And then just rolling on it until they feel wherever they're tight and hanging out on that spot for anywhere from 60 to 90 seconds to let the trigger point release. If the floor is difficult for the patient, they can also sit in a chair with armrests so they can support their arms in the chair as they're sitting on the ball. And that might be more appropriate for the patients that just have a difficult time getting on and off the floor. Okay?